Hello model railroaders, my name's Dave, welcome to the layout. And yes, I'm dealing with a very bad cold, which has really taken me down since last Friday night. And it's Thursday night now, so I haven't really had a lot of opportunity to work on the layout, and when I lost 3 days of work, so I only got a little bit accomplished, but what I have got accomplished I can share with you. So here we are. So the foam in this section, which used to sit here, got extracted and scraped up. There's the glue residue. And I was able to get in, if I can balance enough to show you, I put in a left curved picot switch about 4 inches in from the edge, so that will deal with my spur line, and the main line diagonals down and is cutting in just to the left of the center mark of the 2-foot section down there. So that's about all the opportunity I've had, apart from screwing all these sections down, which I think I did in a different video. I don't know. I'll call it on the cold for my hazy thinking. But I did end up pulling out of the garage my foldable ladder to make it into a bit of a scaffolding for me to stand on to get enough height to give me enough reach to get the track laid down. And things are getting prepped here for running this line. I've got my track figured out. I'm actually going to run Picot track down the outside here where it's visible, and I'm running Atlas track where it's predominantly going to be hidden. The seam block will be on either side, probably up to this point for sure, and then I don't know, I'll probably run a seam block on this side just so that if you're on the perspective that I'm standing, that you can't see the train heading into the return loop, the big hill. And I do want to try and bridge that track to get the logging run up on top of the flat here on the main piece where the white and pink foam is on the very top of that. That's my goal anyway, is to get a little bit of a logging camp up there where they would be loading the log cars. So I'm still going to try to work the switchback. I'm going to have to see what I can do to if it'll work or not. It'd be really cool operation wise to run a switchback up the side of the hill to get to the escarpment of or the peak, if you will. So that's what I'm going to try. The piece of my straight track there, as you can see, is sitting on some cork that I put down just to keep it from moving on me till I can get to it next time. And the big difference, if I can get you to zoom in here, you will see, hopefully, and I will see, because I haven't really done this, that predominantly there is not much wave in that piece of straight track. Because that's normally the way I'll lay track, and I'll do a video I've got to try and set the camera up on something so that you can see how I'm putting the cork down and how I do the lay straight section of the track down, or even curved. It doesn't matter. But I got thinking as to why. And there's the Frederick the cat, who was just scratching before, better than the dog's barking, so he showed his displeasure because I'm not scooping his litter box at the moment. I'm making a video for you guys. So he had to get his objection in. Okay, let me squeeze past you. All right. So, down this section, I do believe there are a couple reasons why the track was so wavy going down here. Even though I was following a line that I put on the cork and was using the track inserts, the straight track inserts as well. Now, all of the cork and lines down here are as straight as I can make them in the yard and the main lines. The big difference, the cork was laid directly on these modules, secured down with 2-way tape, and then I drew the lines on the cork. So the cork was already secure, it wasn't going anywhere, it wasn't pushing or giving with the weight of the pencil on it and moving. And that's what I believe was part of the culprit here, was that I drew the lines on the cork on the cutting table, and some of the cork moved because I did check a couple sections of it after the fact, and I found that my pencil marks were 1/8 of an inch off in some places. Now, what I believe was also a contributing factor with the leaves in on that cutting table, it has a bow to it. So as I was pushing the straight edge down, I was probably putting a bit of a curve into the straight edge as well. So that's something that you should be aware of, because I know I'm going to be very careful the next time I use cork in this manner, that I'm going to cut my cork, secure it down where I want it to go, and then I'm going to draw my lines on it. Now, my straight edge, that are the two 4-foot pieces that join into the 8-foot long piece, I'm also suspicious of how exact, and there's unfortunately no way I can check it because all the wood I've got is got a slight warp to it. So I think it may potentially, when the two pieces join together, may have a slight bow to it, and there's just no way I can tell for sure. So in another scale, apart from Z, it probably wouldn't make a difference, but normally using Z you'd be using snap track kind of track layment. You wouldn't be putting down freehand flex track. At least I wouldn't, not in Z. I wouldn't. The people that have the patience to actually hand lay track in N, my hat is off to them. I have done chainmail before. That takes a lot of patience. I'm not even going to attempt laying track in N scale. There'd just be no way. The tolerances would drive me nuts. So I'll stick to flex track and pico track for my track laying. So that's kind of where things are at. If I can start shaking this cold off, which I'm really hoping for in the next few days to start feeling better, I can get going on the layout. Today I did go to work, and coming back in through the garage to span this gap here, I haven't figured out exactly what I'm doing for bridges, so I was just going to put in 2 pieces of wood. But this is kind of the reason why I grabbed the camera, because I thought this was just too good. So this these two pieces of wood I just picked off my scrap wood pile when I was making the 4x4 legs, at least some of them. I'd actually ripped down some 2x4s to make 2x2s, and of those, some of those 2x2s where I cut the extra little bit off because of the leg height. I actually ripped the curved edge off, and that's what was getting used on the top of my control panels there. So that little mitered edge is actually the edge of the natural 2x4 that comes out of the mill. So I figured these pieces were going to be close. I knew I had to span the inside gap, but butting one end up against that side, how lucky am I? That's how close I am. I'm within 1/16 of an inch on both pieces of them dropping right into the my little depression that I need to span. So I just thought that was so cool, and I needed to share my luck, if you will, that there would be no way I could actually get two pieces that are literally going to work for me in with just a little bit of sanding. That it's not even worth going out to the garage to try and shave the end off. I'm just going to get the pelt sander and just do a little bit and get it to fit in, and just put a couple of cross pieces down here just to rest it on, and that way they'll just float on that, and I'll just put a couple of nails through the track and the cork, and then figure out what I'm going to do. I've got these steel bridges. So one of these bridges is going to work somewhere in there, and I've got the flyer from the distributor here in southern Ontario that carries these. They're from Germany, I believe, and so I'm going to take a look at their offerings, which if I can move some things around. Hopefully the paper's not washing it out. They're Hackbrücken. So I don't know if you do a Google search on them, but they are very nice steel bridges. And that bridge there was, I bought it a couple years ago, probably about 4 years ago at this point, but that cost $60. And when you look at the cost of a Walters Cornerstone kit to put together, right, they're very comparable, and I think they look pretty cool. They look a lot better than the Atlas bridges that I replaced. If you recall, I've got two sets of these smaller ones over here that you've seen many times. So they replaced 4 Atlas bridges. So anyway, just a quick update. Hopefully this cold will recede and I can get some energy back to at least get both of my loops, or get both ends of the loop tracked up to this point. So for now, guys, hope you enjoyed the quick update, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.